Reese Williams, FB452, UCFB Football Coaching and Management, PR2 video assignment. Football session on creating chances and different types of finishes you can use. The types of finishing we're going to look at are, firstly, side foot, the volley, the headed finish. On the tactical board, I have set the team up in the formation of a 4-3-3, and I want to show how we will create the opportunities to take the chances that I demonstrated earlier in the video. So, in an ideal world, we build up through the middle, we get the ball into our number 4, we then move it towards the number 8, who drops off slightly deeper to play a 2 to 5 yard pass from the number 4 to the number 8. Keep it simple in the first phase of play. The number 8, then I hope can carry the ball into maybe 40 yards from goal. Then I want him to feed the ball into the number 10. Then I want my number 10 to drive, straight drive at the number 4. Use his dribble ability. He'll be the most technical player on the team, the best player on the board. I want playing in the middle as my number 10. Then when the number 10 has driven on, I want my number 8 to sit. I want him to sit with the number 4 so we don't get caught in transition if the number 10, for example, lost the ball to the opposition's number 4 or the other opposition's midfielder if they're playing a double pivot, or anyone in the opposition team for the matter of fact. When doing this, my number 10 is then in a key point of the pitch, 25 yards from goal or 25 to 30 yards from goal. He has an option. He can try and play a through ball to my number 9, who I want pulling off the number 6 or the number 5, but we'll go back to that later. Or he can find his wingers, number 7 or number 11. But to add something for the opposition defence to think about, I want my number 3, if we're going on the left wing, for example, to push right up the pitch. I want him running with all his life to get in a position where he's behind the number 7 or level with number 7. So I then want my number 3 to overlap around the number 2, which will then attract the number 2 or the opposition's team's right back to the overlapping left back for my team. This then allows my number 7, who I want to run an inverted run inside, in between the number 2 and the number 6, to drag the number 6 out to the right side, not where he wants to be. This then needs my number 9, who I trust to be able to get into positions. He then potentially can lock onto the number 5 or go into the space number 6 vacated. So if he can then get into these half spaces between the lines, between the defenders, this then gives the number 10 the option of playing a through ball. It has to be pinpoint accuracy to be able to find it through the tiniest gap possible. So that's one way we can find our way through. Or we can play a ball between the lines, between the number 2 and the number 6 to the number 3. It's a risky ball, but you take risks in football. You have your number, but you don't forget about your number 7. Your number 7 here, what does he do? He's run between the lines. You can also then play a ball over the top to the number 7. And then the number 11 has become a bit isolated in this, but he has a key role to play. The number 10's pass now, the number 3 and the number 5. If the number 11 then needs to put himself in the half spaces in the corner of the box, potentially to receive the ball, give and go, and potentially I'll give my number 8, the other player in the pivot, the license to potentially support him in a role where he just moves into half spaces. Not here, but I want him to be in the half spaces here, 2-3 yards away from number 11, just to create a distraction for the opposition. Then, for example, let's say the number 9 plays a through ball between the lines. It gets into the number 9. This is where I want him to be able to pull off the defender, take a touch, as shown in the demonstration, and shoot. This is how I want to create chances in one instance. In another instance, he plays the ball to the number 3, or the number 7 is able to get through. Low driven across the box, another side foot finish. That's a different type of finish I've shown you. Or potentially you get it to number 3. So to follow up, I'm going to give a quick rundown of my actual session so it can relate into the philosophy that I spoke about previously and the techniques I showed you. So for the arrival activity, I wanted to link to the rest of the session, so I've chosen a shooting activity. For this, we have a goalkeeper, a player on the side, and a finisher. We'll have multiple finishers because there's going to be more than just 3 players in the session. So the purpose of the player here is that they are going to play a pass to the edge of the box for the player that's coming onto it. For example, here the number 9 will come onto it and take a side foot shot into either corner, or he'll try and take a shot into either corner. Missing it in the first arrival activity is fine, so we know what to work on for the rest of the session. So to start with, the number 7 will be placed here with the football. We have our number 9 here, and these red dots indicate cones or obstacles. I want the players, before they shoot, to run through the cones and then run towards the edge of the penalty area, and rather on the run, the number 7 then plays a ball onto the edge of the box. The number 9 strikes the ball with his side foot, runs off to the side, runs all the way around again, and then takes another go after all the other players have gone. So now we move on to the main activity of the session, which is focusing on creating different types of chances and finishing them with different types of finishes. So in this drill, we have our number 9 and our number 10 lined up at the back. This is going to be the creative player, and this is going to be the goal scorer. So to begin with, I want the number 9 to go off, to start running towards the penalty area, but number 10 will carry the ball to around this area here. And this is where number 10 has a decision to make. He can either play a pass out to the wing to his number 11, play a pass out to the number 7, or he can play the pass to the number 9 round the corner between the defenders. Number 9 gets in through on goal. But he can use the alternative passes to either wing. To the left wing, he can play it to number 7, who then drives down the wing, gets an either lofted cross, low driven cross into the area. The number 9 gets into this kind of area where he can either finish if it's like lofted cross with a header, or maybe potentially a volley if it's low enough, or a low cross, little side foot into the corner. Just a little touch, that's all that will be needed from this kind of area for a prolific goal scorer and a consistent goal scorer. Same with the other side. It depends on what wingers we use. Some wingers may be better with lofted crosses, some will be better with low driven crosses. So potentially our left winger might be better with low driven crosses. So the striker has to know that it's going to be a side foot finish more than likely. And our right winger might be better with lofted crosses. So the striker makes sure he gets in a position to head up. It's about the players having an understanding of how each other play and using that in the game so they know what kind of finish to have. When the ball's coming in, I want the player to know what kind of ball's coming in. I want them to have an understanding of each other because it will make it easier when it comes to finishing. They won't have to be thinking about it in their head too much. And once it gets in your head too much, that's when you start. So now we're moving to a game scenario. So for example, for our upcoming game, we're playing a team that are playing a back 3. So we're going to work with a back 3 with someone sitting in front of them, without the wing backs, or potentially the wing back has had to drift inside, because this is an opportunity in a game scenario where we've caught the opposition on the transition with our front 4 players going at the opposition defence. So we have our number 10 on the board in the hot spots, I like to call it, 25 yards from goal, where I want them to be. We have our wingers, as we saw in the previous drill, wide and inside. Now I want them to push out further wide, open the pitch up, open the space up. Have our number 9 floating in the box. Hopefully this drags out the number 5, this drags out the number 3. Then you create more space in the penalty area for a through ball wide. And this is the kind of situation I want going in a match. This is full intensity. This is a 5v5 match. This is what I want to practice. I want to practice in a 5v5 situation, more space on the pitch, more space for players to make runs. 5v5, more attacking, fast flowing. There's not going to be a hold up of the ball in the midfield. Everything's got to be fast paced. That's what we want to see. That's the intensity we want to play as a team. So that's the intensity that we're going to train at. You just got the goalkeeper here. That's just there. He's just going to distribute the ball into the number 10. He's going to play a deeper role. Obviously, when it comes to defending, the attacking players are going to have to put in a shift in defence. But that's just for the purpose of the drill. It's not about actually seeing how good we are defensively. It's about how good we are offensively, and if the players can execute the runs that I told them to. So I know in the match situation that the players are capable to do, and if they're not capable to do it against other attackers, then I know that we have something to work on.